It's Tuesday, April 14th.
This is not a mandate to be quiet. It is not a mandate to take our time. It is a mandate to get to work.
The Liberals go from a minority to majority with a clean sweep of 3 by-elections.
We need to know what's going to work on the ground and not that's going to happen in 10 years' time. We need assistance right now.
3 infrastructure projects in Saskatchewan getting a massive boost from the federal and provincial governments.
Bottom line, all of you should be thanking us. We took out a horrendous, horrible leader who was oppressing his own people. But don't get any ideas. And live from New York, it's Saturday!
SNL is on the move to CTV and Crave this fall. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Tuesday.
Now we can talk about all our favorite SNL sketches and performances.
Finally.
All of these years.
You know what? I didn't even know about that until you read it just now, and I said, hey, that's great.
Well, they say if you learn one thing new a day, you're done. So
great, I'm going home.
Your day's over at 6:01. Let's get to the news, see if we can teach anybody else anything. Prime Minister Mark Carney is now in hold of a majority government. The Liberals, have 174 seats in the House of Commons after winning all 3 by-elections Monday night. The results in the Quebec riding of Terrebonne coming in late overnight. CTV's senior political correspondent Mike Lucaturo has more on the results and what it means for the country.
The first results came in the riding of University Rosedale. Danielle Martin's victory giving the Liberals 1 more seat and securing Mark Carney's majority government.
As of tonight, Mark Carney and our entire incredible Liberal team have earned an even more powerful mandate to continue building a better Canada.
A little further east, the Liberals chalked up another win as the former deputy leader of the Ontario NDP delivered the riding of Scarborough Southwest.
My friends, we found a way to come together. Not because we agreed on everything, but because we recognize the common vision of Canada that we all share.
Now, the Liberals were able to turn last year's minority government into a majority, thanks in part to 5 floor crossers in as many months. The latest was an opposition MP who held social conservative values.
I think the Liberal tent is stretched so far now that the fabric must be, I don't know, is it spandex? It is something very stretchy when you can encompass Marilyn Gladue in a caucus with progressives in the Liberal Party.
The third by-election was forced in Terrebonne, Quebec, after the Supreme Court invalidated a Liberal win, which was by 1 vote.
And people really knew the importance of voting this time, so they were enthusiastic, and we were confident that they would indeed go out and vote.
The ballot question was who can provide stability in a world of instability and a much more chaotic and divided world, and we know that the answer to that is Prime Minister Carney.
Now that he has his majority, the Prime Minister isn't wasting any time. Tuesday, Carney's expected to announce new affordability measures as his government has been facing pressure to address high gas prices. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
The gap between Canada's richest and poorest is growing even larger. The income gap measures the difference in the share of disposable income between households in the top 40% and those in the bottom 40%. And according to Statistics Canada, it reached 46.7 percentage points in 2025. The agency says the lowest income households saw wages rise slower than the overall average, and their investment incomes fell because of lower interest payments on savings. 3 infrastructure projects in Saskatchewan are getting a massive boost from the federal and provincial governments. Regina's Taylor Field redevelopment, Saskatoon's Material Recovery Centre, and at its landfill, and Moose Jaw's Spring Creek Stormwater Project are the first 3 projects to receive federal funding under this grant, which comes under the Canadian Housing Infrastructure Fund, totaling nearly $26 million. In total, the projects will support the construction of more than 29,000 homes.
What we're seeing here is the first step. We're talking about consultations. Before legislation or new funding projects are being funded or being developed and put in place, we need to know what's going to work on the ground and not that's going to happen in 10 years' time. We need assistance right now.
The federal government plans to invest more than $187 million into housing enabling infrastructure across the province, with the government of Saskatchewan adding an additional $156 million. More projects are approved in other cities that'll be announced later. The Crown and Defence are split on sentencing for a man guilty of manslaughter in the death of a Saskatoon woman. For more on this, we turn things over to Jeremy Dodge. Good morning.
Good morning, Daryl. This is the case of Roderick Sutherland. He was convicted last October of manslaughter and offering indignity to human remains in the death of Megan Gallagher. Court heard the 30-year-old was confined to a chair in Sutherland's garage and died on September 20th, 2020 after plastic wrap was put around her face. Sutherland is one of 7 people convicted in Gallagher's death. The Crown is seeking an 8 to 10-year sentence for manslaughter, while the defense is asking for 3.5 years. The Crown also seeking 2 to 3 years for offering indignity to human remains, while the defense has asked for 1.5 years. The judge has reserved his decision until next Wednesday. And a man found guilty of manslaughter is headed to prison. Timothy Smith sentenced to 6 years in the death of Landon Waddell. Court heard an argument ended in Smith punching Waddell twice and kicking him and causing him to hit his head on a coffee table at a home on 26th Street in November of 2024. So with time served, Timothy Smith will be behind bars for just over 4 years. Daryl, Regina Police and the Saskatchewan Coroner's Service investigating the discovery of a body.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday morning. Police called to the 3100 block of 5th Avenue early in the morning, where officers found the body of a man. Officers secured the area and requested help from the service's major crime and forensic identification units. After investigation, Saskatchewan's Coroner Service determined the death was a homicide. The victim has been identified as 36-year-old Miles Anderson of Regina. Police say the investigation continues. Kaktowichita First Nation membership gathered for a special occasion yesterday, years in the making. Gold shovels hit the ground where a water treatment plant will one day stand. The current water treatment plant has been upgraded more than once and is no longer capable of meeting the nation's needs long term due to an increased population of younger people, as well as the want for other members to come and live on the nation. Leadership says the plant is needed to serve residents for decades to come.
We recognized in 2017 that our current water treatment plant was aging, and we knew we had to, the upkeep and, making sure it's modern. So we started kicking tires about, do we renovate it, do we upgrade? And then it came along, why don't we just build new? So we're going to have a state-of-the-art water treatment plant for, a couple generations, if not 3. So we're happy about that.
When it's complete, all 220 housing units on the First Nation will have clean water access. They're the 2 best words in sports. Game 7 and the SJHL will have 2 of them tomorrow. Josh Sales scored 3 goals in a 5-1 win for the Weyburn Red Wings over the Flin Flon Bombers. That sets up Game 7 in Flin Flon on Wednesday night. Sale has 17 points in 12 playoff games. He's on fire. And the Yorkton Terriers exploded for 3 goals in the 3rd period to beat the Battleford Stars 6-3. Game 7 on Wednesday in Yorkton. Let's get over to the Weather Center. Join Kaylee and Sawatsky, where we find out when the snow is coming.
Yes, it is on the way. Not quite today for areas in central and southern Saskatchewan. Today we're talking about the rain, but looking forward to perhaps overnight on Wednesday and then definitely into Thursday. That's when we're talking about more of that snow. Taking a look outside this morning, definitely a gray and gloomy start to the day in the Queen City, but the temperatures are fairly nice. 2 degrees right now to wake us up. We do have, again, that cloud cover. Winds are a bit elevated to start the day, coming in at 22 kilometers per hour. They should be just a little bit stronger down through the south today compared to through central Saskatchewan. Right now, waking up in Saskatoon, 0 degrees. We do have a nice mix of sun and cloud to wake us up. Winds much more calm, coming in at 4 kilometers per hour right now. Take a look at your radar and satellite, especially if you're waking up with us from Prince Albert this morning, where we saw some of that freezing rain overnight. Other areas through the southwest also saw some of that rain and a bit of that snow overnight in the very far southeast corner of the province as well. So there could be some partially covered roads this morning. Take care out there. Currently out there right now, we're just seeing some of that snow far up north, but through central and southern Saskatchewan, just a little blip on the radar there of some rain in the area, just pushing away from Saskatoon. Into the afternoon today, we do see some more rain moving in. It's going to be impacting areas around Prince Albert through later parts of the afternoon, and then into the early evening. We do see that system growing and expanding there. Areas around Prince Albert, Saskatoon, down through Swift Current, and also through Regina could be seeing some very light rainfall. Again, this is in the evening hours, though. Your afternoon mainly should be a mix of sun and cloud. Wednesday overnight, this is at about 2:15 a.m. We're going to start talking about more of that snow building. It's going to be in areas mainly in north of Prince Albert. Into the afternoon, we see it starting to push off into Manitoba, but again, in areas east of Saskatoon, we do see some of that rain and freezing rain. This is what I really wanted to show you, though. Looking forward to Thursday, mainly Thursday morning, we see a rather large system coming up from the United States and Alberta. It's going to be bringing with it quite a bit of snow, so it's not exactly what we want to hear, and it's not going to be sticking around, especially with these temperatures that are on the way. Today, we're looking at temperatures above the average, which is really nice down south. 18 degrees for Swift Current. Again, that rain icon you're seeing likely to be falling later on into the evening. 18 degrees for Moose Jaw, Weyburn as well. 17 degrees for Regina and Estevan. 12 degrees for Saskatoon. Again, you're seeing that rain icon. Mainly going to be falling in your evening hours. 9 degrees for Yorkton, mix of sun and clouds. 7 degrees in Prince Albert, and 10 degrees for the Battlefords.
New research published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal confirms cancer still the leading cause of death in Canada, and 250,000 new cases will be detected this year. But the study also highlights a path of hope. CTV's Alison Bamford reports.
Thousands of patients step foot inside the Saskatoon Cancer Centre every year, including those who are seeking treatment for the very first time. A new study estimates there will be more than 250,000 new cancer diagnoses and nearly 90,000 cancer-related deaths in Canada this year, while a staggering 42% of Canadians are expected to be diagnosed with the disease at some point in their life. Still, there's hope in the numbers. Incidence and mortality rates are declining in most cancers, including leukemia, colorectal, bladder, and lung cancer, although it still remains the most prevalent type.
We're seeing, the advancements in prevention, early detection, and treatments really having an impact for people across Canada.
This month, Saskatchewan made the move to help reduce the wait times for breast cancer screenings, adding to its fleet of mobile mammogram units that serve remote communities. Despite the progress in many areas, the study shows rates of some cancers are rising, including cervical, head, and neck, linked to HPV. Experts say improving vaccination rates could help stop these types of cancers before they start. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Well, students in Waterloo are making the best of a bad situation.
Honestly, I love the geese. I think they're a great part of the campus atmosphere. I think they're really cute.
I've lived in Winnipeg, I've lived in Richmond Hill, Newmarket, Toronto. I've never seen this many geese in one area.
Whoa. Waterloo is a campus known for its goose encounters. There's been lots of videos over the last couple of years of uncomfortable encounters outside of dorms, inside a cafe, etc.
Oh, that was inside.
Students were on edge, so a developer took the problem into their own hands, creating the Waddle-Loo app. Get it? It uses student data to track geese and hints as to which areas they should be avoiding.
Well, there's Wascana Park in Regina in general.
Well, yeah, like you go
All of
take, you take one loop around Wascana in the summer, and you're just like, oh, I get to do this little tiptoe dance around.
You know where they congregate. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's all good. A little goose mafia.
Well, it's funny looking at this video because it's like the guy said, I've never seen an area with so many geese. And I'm looking at it like, okay, I see 2 geese in the background. Go to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
We'll show you. We'll show you some places.
Come over. Check us out.
Let's get to question of the day. National Day for Everything. Today is National Gardening Day.
Yeah, so we're asking you today, what are you planting this year? Jeremy, are you or your wife a gardener?
No, we don't do that. But I do spend an inordinate amount of time on my lawn. So maybe I'll plant some more grass this year.
All right.
There's the list of what we aren't planting at our house is probably smaller than what we are. My wife's deep into it. Ecologists, right?
Last year, I took step 1 and I bought soil.
Oh.
Never used it.
Oh, but you're halfway there.
Now I have soil in my garage. I don't know if I can use the soil that I bought last year, though. Is it still going to plant something?
Dirt is dirt.
Dirt is dirt, exactly. I don't know.
Wait till we get you out to work on that farm.
Yeah. So tell me what I should be planting this year. Text us your name and your answer at 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. For now, let's take a live look over the foggy city of Regina. Stay with us.
Oil is falling on the possibility the U.S. and Iran could extend their 2-week ceasefire as the U.S. continues its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Now dropping today as well, along with oil, the U.S. dollar. Gold gaining. As for equities, the TSX, Dow, and New York Stock Exchange are all up for the year now. And the NASDAQ 100 is looking to set its longest streak of gains since 2021, as optimism that the U.S. and Iran are considering that round of peace talks, another round, and that has lifted the futures for the benchmark, pointing to a 10th straight day of wins, and S&P 500 contracts were 0.2% higher. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby has floated a possible merger with American Airlines, according to people familiar with the conversations. An audacious proposition that would face intense scrutiny even under the business-friendly Trump administration. Kirby has pitched the idea to senior government officials, though it's unclear if any overtures have since been made or if an actual process is underway to explore a deal. A combination would create the largest airline on the planet, pose serious antitrust concerns, and likely face significant backlash from consumers, politicians, and rival U.S. airlines. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Well, it's been a while since our Mike Siona has given a forecast, but it looks like he's up to his old tricks again this morning. Mike.
Well, the forecast today from -30 to +20, that should probably cover us off here in Saskatchewan. I'm down at the Ramey Art Gallery with the one and only Stephanie McKay in front of the one and only CFQC TV replica weatherboard that Greg Barnsley so famously told the forecast on. And that's why we're here. This is part of the new exhibit, Forecast.
Yeah, so Forecast is a show of works from Ramey Modern's collection that speak to weather and our personal connections to the climate.
Fantastic. I know a lot of viewers watching this remember this board fondly. This is the replica. The actual board itself does live at CTV Saskatoon in our green room, so it's kind of a cool little piece to pay homage to. But really, this isn't just about a weatherboard. This entire exhibit is about people, places, and environment and how they coexist.
Yeah, so there's about 100 works from the collection that speak to the seasons, this landscape, how artists are responding to what weather means. And, you know, the weatherboard is a great way for us to make our own personal connections to the art that's on view.
Right, and in a lot of ways, telling a forecast can be a form of art as well. And really, when you think about art and artistry, there are so often, I think, we think of geographical or cultural components, but weather really does play a huge impact.
I mean, Saskatchewan, we are obsessed with weather. We think about the farmers all year long. We think about snow and the melt, and, you know, it's all kind of represented in this show. So it's a really great place to come and connect to artwork through a very personal lens.
No doubt about it. It is running for the entirety of 2026?
Yes, yeah, you have all year long to come see it and see it again and play with the weatherboard. There's lots of interactive components to this show, so we're really excited to show it off to viewers.
All right, we're gonna leave the weather alone. This won't be us all day, but it's pretty exciting. It's kind of cool to see that. And we'll see what else is in this fantastic display of art as the morning continues.
And now for your school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we're at 2 degrees, a nice start to the day, although we are seeing quite a bit of cloud cover, a little bit of fog out there. 0 degrees through Saskatoon with a mix of sun and cloud right now. By lunchtime in Regina, 12 degrees. Just below that, by lunchtime in Saskatoon, 11 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, and winds will be a little bit stronger down towards the south. By final bell, 17 degrees for Regina with that sun coming out, and by final bell in Saskatoon, 12 degrees with a few more clouds in the area. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. In Regina, the common price, $169.9. You might find it for as low as $154.9. In Saskatoon, the common price, $171.9. You might find it for as low as $166.9. In the farm markets this morning, we find the street price of canola at $649.33 per ton, and the futures price, $705.30 per ton. Amber Durham wheat now at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat $273.09 per ton. And the Canadian dollar is up slightly this morning. It's at 72.40 cents US. Coming up in 15 minutes, we're learning more about the NDP's proposed plan for Saskatchewan's power. Stay with us for the details.
6:30, welcome back to your morning. We begin with this. 9 more Saskatchewan communities are now eligible to be part of the Rural and Remote Recruitment Incentive Program. It allows communities to offer incentives to high-priority healthcare workers of up to $50,000 for a 3-year service. The communities are Beauval, Buffalo Narrows, Carlisle, Creighton, Crake, Davidson, Ituna, Momart, and Macklin. There are now 82 communities that can use that program.
And really, you know, as we add more communities, as we add more facilities to this incentive, it's really creating, I think, more incentive for kids who are from these communities or interested in a life in rural or northern Saskatchewan to take an opportunity, a really good healthcare career, but then also have a financial incentive to make that move, make that decision easier for them.
Since its implementation, the incentives have helped fill more than 530 hard-to-recruit positions in rural and remote areas. The closure of prairie harm reduction has prompted mixed reactions throughout Saskatoon. PHR closed its doors last week after the organization shared that it was suffering from significant financial issues. A rally was hosted on Saturday where people shared concerns about the impacts of the closure. However, some of those who live and work in the area expressed relief.
You know, safe consumption is just a part of harm reduction, and our position has always been that harm reduction must include protection for vulnerable individuals and protection for the community. So public health and public safety must be balanced.
In addition to its role as a safe consumption site, PHR provided 2 youth homes, educational services, and family supports. On the heels of Saskatoon's safe consumption site shutting down last week, the Ministry of Health has issued another overdose alert for Saskatoon. It says between April 1st and 12th, the Saskatoon Fire Department has responded to more than 150 overdose calls. It says multiple calls involved more than one person in need of help. The ministry says it's not known what kind of drugs are circulating that is causing a higher risk of overdose. U.S. President Donald Trump says he's not going to apologize for criticizing the Pope.
No, I don't, because Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran, and you cannot have a nuclear Iran. Pope Leo would not be happy with the end result. You have hundreds of millions of people dead.
Answering questions at the White House, President Trump said he's simply responding to comments made by the Pope. The U.S.-born Pope Leo has come out against the war in Iran while saying he's not afraid of the Trump administration. This isn't the only reason President Trump is facing backlash from the Catholic community.
That was bad, really bad. It should not be. I mean, nobody should compare to Jesus.
Catholics were reacting to a social media post President Trump put out Sunday, which depicts himself as Jesus. That post has been taken down. When asked why, the president said he thought the picture was of him as a doctor. Meanwhile, talks between Lebanese and Israeli ambassadors to the U.S. are expected to take place in Washington later today. Lebanon's president is hoping the meeting will result in a ceasefire even after Hezbollah called on Beirut to reject the talks. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is expected to be in those conversations. It will be the first time in decades that officials from the two countries have met face-to-face for direct negotiations. According to Lebanon Health Ministry, at least 2,000 people have been killed and more than 1 million people have been displaced. A team of volunteers is in Peguis First Nation in Manitoba helping prepare for what could be a nasty flood season.
We're all come together as a community, as we are, and we're helping save the people that do flood bad.
They're using water to fight water, filling temporary dams to protect homes from potential flooding. It's a huge job, with 225 homes being identified as needing protection. About 30 volunteers from Team Rubicon are on hand to help out, and 17 more are on the way. The humanitarian organization is made up of ex-military, retired first responders, and civilians to deploy to natural disasters. Manitoba is warning peak flows in the First Nation could reach 2022 levels, which saw many people forced from their homes. SaskPower reminding farmers to be careful around power lines when moving equipment this growing season after a spike in incidents last year. The Crown Corporation said 315 farm-related incidents involving SaskPower infrastructure were recorded in 2025. That's up from 262 the previous year. SaskPower said all line strikes are preventable and farmers are encouraged to use extra caution around power lines and overhead lines, with seeding coming up quick. Common causes, they say, include fatigue, underestimating the size of their equipment, or digging too close to lines. As of this morning, provincial campsites for overnight camping are open. Residents can book seasonal spots. SaskPower says Tuesday through Friday, that's today. Nightly campsites will be open for booking starting at 7 a.m. So you got 25 minutes to get on your computer. Staff recommend getting in well ahead of time. Spring turnaround has now begun at the Co-op Refinery Complex. Residents and commuters in nearby areas might notice more traffic than usual for the next month and a half. This year's turnaround has more than $150 million in repairs, maintenance, and upgrades. At its peak, that means more than 1,500 workers will be on site each day. One of the most iconic programs in television history has a new Canadian home.
Bottom line, all of you should be thanking us. We took out a horrendous, horrible leader who was oppressing his own people. But don't get any ideas. And live from New York, it's
Saturday Night Live's 52nd season will be available on CTV and Crave this fall. The show, created and produced to this day by Canadian Lorne Michaels, has set the standard for sketch comedy for over 5 decades. So you'll be able to stream it right here. Let's get on to a very exciting contest and a new keyword.
That's right. Listen up. CTV, Your Morning with CAA Travel and Colette Tours want to send you and a guest on a 12-day Italy's Treasures trip of a lifetime. Experience incredible history, culture, and cuisine across northern Italy, October 18th to 29th. Enter online now at ctvsaskatoon.ca or ctvregina.ca and include today's keyword, Florence, for your chance to win. Good luck. All right, let's turn our attention back outside to this weather picture. It's a little more clear out through Saskatoon this morning. Not quite as warm. We're at 0 degrees, but very calm winds. In Regina, we are seeing some of that fog, as you can see. It's about 2 degrees right now, and winds are coming in around 22 kilometers per hour. Into the afternoon, we are seeing the winds increasing. However, it's mainly going to be down in that southwest corner of the province, seeing gusts around Kindersley and Swift Current up to about 45 kilometers per hour. So that's where we're going to be seeing most of those gusts. Let's talk about current temperatures now. -17 through Stony Rapids, 0 degrees through La Ronge and Buffalo Narrows, -4 in South End, 1 degree already in Nipawin and Melfort, 2 degrees already to wake us up in Spiritwood and Hudson Bay. Down in the south, seeing some really nice temperatures already, 4 degrees in Swift Current, 3 degrees in Moose Jaw, 0 degrees in Assiniboia, 3 degrees in Estevan, and 1 degree in Yorkton. So not a bad start to the day, especially if you're waking up with us down south. Later on into the afternoon, we are seeing some temperatures above that seasonal average, again, especially down south. You are seeing that rain icon Yukon, in Swift Current, Moose Jaw, and Saskatoon. We're mainly going to be seeing that falling into the evening hours. We are going to be seeing a mix of sun and cloud throughout the afternoon. 17 though this afternoon in Swift Current, 18 degrees for Moose Jaw and Weyburn, 17 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud through Estevan, and 8 degrees through Yorkton. Mainly sunny there. We are talking about some more of that precipitation up north, and that does include snow still. You can see on the tip of that system there some freezing rain as well. Into the afternoon hours, we do see that pushing off into Manitoba with some more rain moving in from Alberta. By Tuesday at 8:30 p.m., we're still seeing some of that rain. It's actually growing in size between Prince Albert and Saskatoon down through Regina as well. And then by Wednesday, 2:45 a.m., we're talking about more of that snow moving in. Also seeing some of that rain in areas around Saskatoon, in areas north of the Parkland region as well. And then we're talking about Wednesday. This is 4 p.m. We start to see that snow system trying to push off into Manitoba. But I do want to talk to you about Thursday. Thursday's the day. We're going to start overnight by talking about some of that freezing rain down south. And then we see a large system of snow on the way. Don't worry, it's not going to stick around. We do have some beautiful temperatures on the way. In terms of temperatures tomorrow, though, 15 degrees with that snow on Thursday morning. It's going to be -2, -4 on Friday, and up to 2 degrees by Saturday. In Saskatoon, 6 degrees tomorrow, -6 by Thursday with that snow on the way, -1 on Friday, and up to 2 degrees by Saturday with a mix of sun and cloud.
Saskatchewan NDP have unveiled their long-term vision for power generation in the province. The NDP would scrap the provincial government's $2.6 billion plan to extend the life of coal-fired plants near Estevan and Coronach. Instead, it would focus on wind, solar, and natural gas-generated electricity. Elena Young is an NDP MLA. She's been touting this plan, so we brought her into studio to talk a little bit more about it. Elena, thanks for doing this.
Good morning.
You say that one of the main reasons that you want to do this, go down this route, is to save money.
Absolutely. Affordability for Sask Power and for all of us should be the concern. You cannot run a business without electricity. You can't attract investment to the province if we don't have reliable, affordable electricity. And it should be the driving concern for Sask Power, not just for those of us paying our bills, but for all those big picture things as well.
In layman's terms, without getting too in depth, how do you break down these numbers?
Which numbers?
The $2.6 billion.
So this is a number that's...
The government's disputed this number.
Well, it's the government's own number. You can go right there. It's hidden online in Sask Power's submissions to the rate review panel. Of course, the original number was $900 million, then it was $1.9 billion, and now it's $2.6 billion. So that's tripled in just a couple months. And I want to suggest to people that this is the new number, but I can guarantee this is not the true number. And when we're talking about making generational investments, we should be investing in options that are low cost, that are low risk, and allow us flexibility, because things are going to change between now and 2050. And we are the only jurisdiction in Canada that is not only on the path to phase out coal into the 2040s, not tomorrow, but we're rebuilding it. And this doesn't make a lot of sense. It's not economic.
What do you say to the people out there who will challenge the idea of switching and relying on things like wind and solar and all these things? With our cold temperatures, they say it's just not going to be enough power.
Yeah, that's why fundamentally the base of our plan is actually natural gas for baseload, moving to nuclear as that becomes an option for Saskatchewan. Should we be building out renewables as well? Absolutely. Not because it makes us feel good or virtuous, but because it is the most affordable way to get more power online. When you build out wind and solar in Saskatchewan, that is a cost that's borne by the private sector, not by the taxpayers. So we at Sask Power should absolutely be building out natural gas like every province around Canada or across North America. And we should be building out renewables. Like, why would you burn natural gas or coal when the sun is shining and the wind is blowing? Of course, it's not going to do that all the time. But I don't know, I wouldn't burn gas in my car just for fun if I didn't have to in this economy.
$1.75 a liter.
Yeah.
Listen, you get to this point where you need to be elected to bring this plan into play. They're going to spend money over the next 3 years, the government. So if you're successful in being elected in 3.5 years' time, whatever the number is, and you brought in this plan, is it going to save us money because they've already invested so far to this point?
Yeah, well, absolutely. We're campaigning 24/7, 7 days a week. And it's something that I believe the people of Saskatchewan are and need to pay attention to. And we're talking about billions and billions and billions of dollars. We need to make sure that we're making the right decision. Right now, SaskPower has introduced 2 4% rate hikes. The government has applied those proactively, but there's a whole process happening right now where the people of the province can look at SaskPower's plans. They can look at the fact that you have 2 choices between you, either doubling power rates, having the highest risk option for Saskatchewan, or our plan, the Grid and Growth Plan, which is going to lead to lower rates and lower risk. And people can engage with SaskPower directly. They can engage with the government. And fundamentally, I still believe in democracy. And so my hope is that if SaskPower and the provincial government start to hear from people, there may be an opportunity for us to not make the wrong choice here. But folks can have their say. This is important.
And that whole plan is available on the NDP's website as well. Elena, thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment for Monday. We're taking a trip to Seattle for this one. It's the Astros and Mariners. Cam Smith hits one deep to right center. Luke Rowley tracking it. How about that? Makes an adjustment. That is an incredible catch to the wall. What a grab for the Mariners right fielder. Looked like he couldn't pick it up in the air. Finds it at that very last second, and that right there, worthy of your must-see moment. Meanwhile, tonight on TSN, we've got the NBA play-in tournament. The Heat will take on the Hornets. Tip-off of that game goes 7:30 p.m. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a terrific Tuesday.
Help Homes of Regina has been providing support services to people with intellectual disabilities for over 5 decades now. And Janelle Lippi is on location this morning to talk about the impact. Good morning, Janelle.
Good morning, Jeremy. That's right. A really, really special initiative here in Regina. I've got Darren and Sherry here with me this morning to talk all about it. Now, Sherry, let's start with you. Tell me and the viewers who maybe aren't aware what Help Homes of Regina is really all about.
Well, thank you for having us. Help Homes of Regina, we provide supports to individuals with disabilities. Within the city of Regina, we have 6 residential group homes that we support 33 individuals. We, as well, in addition to that, have 2 programs. One is called a Bridge program, where individuals go to learn to live independently. And that program's usually like 18 to 24-month program. So they're able to practice the skills in a safe environment with supportive staff. And then once they graduate from that program, they have an opportunity to go into a supported living program, which provides supports within their home so that they can continue to live independently.
Incredible. And both of you have been a part of Help Homes of Regina for a very long time now. Tell me rather about the importance of having this resource here in the city, what that means for the people who utilize it.
So the importance is for our individuals, we strive to make sure that they have good quality of care. But another important piece to that is the quality of life. Being a part of the community, being able to go out and experience the things, the theaters, the concerts, the hockey, the football games, and feel the joy in everything, the same as what you and I would do in our own lives.
And we've created a great home environment for all of our folks so that they have a place that feels like home.
Yes, well, it is very homey. We took a little tour. It is amazing in here. Beautiful location. Thank you both so very much. And if you're looking for a little bit more information, you can head to that website popping up on your screen.
All right, Janelle, thank you very much. We'll check back in with you next hour.
It's April 14th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Melba. She's marking her 80th birthday today. We hope it's a great one, with love from your sons, daughters, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Also celebrating today is Amy. Happy birthday to you, with lots of love from your mom, dad, and all of the family. Enjoy your special day.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Okay, so for a change, we're giving away a trip to Italy. Beat that, Chase.
What?
Beat that.
I don't think I can. Can I enter for it, though?
No.
All right, so I'm going to go and make a fake name, and I will get in, and I'm going to win that contest. We're giving one, like, I thought this was really good. I thought I was having something great to give away. We have that one to Montreal to see Luke Combs. I mean, it's pretty cool. That's all right. All it takes for you to win that one is listen for 10 straight minutes with the iHeartRadio app. That is all you have to do. It will prompt you. You can enter each and every day. And then this weekend show, you get some money, hotels, flights, backstage tour as well, and a copy of his new album on vinyl. Also, we want to hear from you this morning. You can text 54321. Wildlife encounters. That time a wild animal got into your house. Share that story with us. We got one coming up for you after 7 o'clock.
All right, Chase, thank you so much. Not often I get to one-up you.
I'm going to find a way. I'm going to just hide in someone's suitcase.
Final countdown to new music from the Arkells is on. Their 11th album, Between Us, comes out on Friday. The first single is Next Summer, which sure sounds like the kind of song you'd hear out in the summer a lot. The Arkells also recently played at the Junos, which were in their hometown of Hamilton, Ontario. All right, Kaylin, what do we got?
All right, well, we kick things off with a toddler that clearly likes to play.
Are you a robot man?
Look at this. It's a great impression
Nice
of a robot.
job.
The Play-Doh cups
Pretty
on his hands
good.
really tie the whole look together.
Yep.
Are you a robot
Really
man?
does. Look at him go. Committed to the bit. I like that.
I like it.
Sometimes
Well
you
done.
just need to slow things down and take in the beauty of your surroundings. Okay, so check out the surfer trying to outrun this giant wave. Is that majestic or is that nightmare fuel? It'd be definitely be a Facebook profile picture for a few years. My goodness. Slow
That
motion.
is amazing.
Isn't it?
Would be throwing up.
feels like AI, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't even like watching the video, to be honest.
JD, very quickly, what do you got for us?
All right. How about a guy who rides his bike over the side of a cliff? Just check it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what am I going to do?
No.
Luckily, I came prepared, right?
Why are all these videos so nauseating? Bring back the robot kid.
Trigger warnings on all of these.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Could be worse. There could be snow on
More
the way
guts
Thursday.
than I. Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting a glare right now. I am getting a glare right
We
now.
are back right after this. It's not your fault. It's Tuesday, April 14th.
I am so proud of the family, the coalition that we've built here.
The Liberals go from a minority to majority with a clean sweep of 3 by-elections.
We need to know what's going to work on the ground and not that's going to happen in 10 years' time. We need assistance right now.
3 infrastructure projects in Saskatchewan getting a massive financial boost.
So we're going to have a state-of-the-art water treatment plant for, a couple generations, if not 3. So we're happy about that.
Kaktuishtahoe First Nation breaking ground on a facility years in the making. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Thanks for starting your Tuesday with us.
And we did not plan this. We got blue on blue here today.
Yes, yeah.
Let's go. Look at that.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often.
Same mind, right?
Well, I don't know about that. You don't want to be rattling around up in here with
sloshing
the
around
little monkey
up there.
playing the cymbals. Let's get to news. Prime Minister Mark Carney will head into Parliament today with a significantly more powerful position after the Liberals won all three seats up for grabs in the federal by-election. Physician and healthcare executive Danielle Martin took the Toronto University riding. Former Ontario NDP deputy leader Dolly Begum won the other Toronto riding that was up for grabs, Scarborough Southwest. And Tatiana Auguste clinched the win for the Liberals in Terrebonne, Quebec, taking a traditional Bloc Québécois riding for the Liberals.
I just want to thank the citizens of Terrebonne for the confidence they've put in me. I am ready to work for them. They're ready for them to be at the decision table, and we're ready to get projects done here in Terrebonne.
It is a mandate to get to work on housing, on affordability, on health care and climate change and infrastructure, on the future of our economy and the public services that are more important to this country than ever.
Tonight, we celebrate something so powerful. Not just as an incredible campaign, but a community coming together, putting aside their differences to choose hope, compassion, and progress.
All right, so in closer to home news, 3 infrastructure projects in Saskatchewan getting a massive financial boost from the federal and provincial governments. Regina's Taylor Field redevelopment, Saskatoon's Material Recovery Centre, which is at the landfill, and Moose Jaw's Spring Creek Stormwater Project are the first 3 projects to receive federal funding and the grant under the Canadian Housing Infrastructure Fund, totaling nearly $26 million. In total, the projects will support the construction of more than 29,000 homes.
What we're seeing here is the first step. We're talking about consultations. Before legislation or new funding projects are being funded or being developed and put in place, we need to know what's going to work on the ground and not that's going to happen in 10 years' time. We need assistance right now.
The federal government plans to invest more than $187 million into housing-enabling infrastructure across the province, with the government of Saskatchewan adding an additional $156 million. More approved projects in other cities will be announced later. The SUMA convention continues today in Regina. The Crown and Defence are split on sentencing for a man guilty of manslaughter in the death of a Saskatoon woman. Jeremy?
Yeah, Daryl, this is the case of Roderick Sutherland. He was convicted last October of manslaughter and offering indignity to human remains in the death of Megan Gallagher. Now, court heard the 30-year-old was confined to a chair in Sutherland's garage and died on September 20th, 2020, after plastic wrap was put around her face. Sutherland is one of 7 people convicted in Gallagher's death. The Crown is seeking an 8 to 10-year sentence for manslaughter, while the defense is asking 3.5 years. The Crown is also seeking 2 to 3 years for offering indignity to human remains, while the defense has asked for 1.5 years for that charge. The judge has reserved his decision until next Wednesday. A man found guilty of manslaughter is headed to prison. Timothy Smith's been sentenced to 6 years in the death of Landon Waddell. Court heard an argument ended in Smith punching Waddell twice and kicking him, causing him to hit his head on a coffee table at a home on 26th Street in November of 2024. So with time served, Timothy Smith will be behind bars for just over 4 years. And on the heels of Saskatoon's safe consumption site shutting down last week, the Ministry of Health has issued another overdose alert for Saskatoon. It says between April 1st and the 12th, the Saskatoon Fire Department has responded to more than 150 overdose calls. It says multiple calls involve more than one person in need of help. The ministry says it's not known what kind of drugs are circulating that is causing a higher risk of overdose. Well, Daryl, you have the latest on the investigation of the discovery of a body in Regina.
Jeremy, Regina police have deemed a death we told you about on this program yesterday a homicide. It happened in north central Regina on the 3100 block of 5th Avenue yesterday morning. Officers found the body of 36-year-old Miles Anderson of Regina. Major Crimes has taken over that investigation, which is ongoing. A day for celebration in the Kaktohishtaha First Nation as they broke ground on a new water treatment center. An important step, they say, in the nation's growth plans, with the number of residents increasing. McFavel reports.
Gold shovels hitting the ground where a state-of-the-art water treatment plant will one day stand. Kaktohishtaha First Nation have been after the plant for many years, but the chief saying a growing population means now is the time to expand infrastructure.
The water is life. You know, for us on our First Nation, we've had a water treatment plant that's a little bit aged, and for us, I think it was important to ensure that we have something modern, something that we can use for generations to come.
The current water plant was built in 1988. Since then, it's had 4 updates, growing with the population. But with a large number of children from kindergarten to grade 6, leadership know they will need a much larger station for the younger generation.
We've been through all the boil water advisories, do not consume. Now our people they know if they go to the tap, they can drink that water. If they go to the water treatment plant, get the bottled water, the carton mountain water, it's the best water that you can drink.
Accessing clean drinking water has been a long-time issue for many First Nations communities across Canada. According to the Government of Canada's website, 152 long-term drinking water advisories have been lifted since 2015, but there are still 40 long-term water advisories in 37 communities.
There's great progress being made, and it's all about making sure we concentrate on the solution, get her done, so people in the Indigenous communities don't have these recurring problems year to year.
It will take around 18 months to build the water plant. Once up and running, it will supply water to every home and building on the nation, including homes in the valley.
Part of being healthy is having good water, having a good home, having a good job, having a place to work out at, you know, having a good school, right? And we're no different on Kaktohishtaha. That's what we want for our people, and we're on the path to getting it.
McFavel, CTV News, Kaktohishtaha First Nation.
We are getting a new look at the moment a recovery crew opened the hatch of the Artemis II Orion capsule after splashdown on Friday.
Yes. Do it. Say it. Yes. Let's go. Pin. Get yourself over.
This was shortly after 5:07 p.m. local time in the Pacific Ocean Friday. They were home safe after they went deeper into space than anyone had flown before. Cool view. In the WHL playoffs, the scene shifts to Saskatchewan for Game 3 between the Blades and Prince Albert Raiders, with PA dominating the first 2 games at home. After a thrilling Game 7 overtime win on the road in Round 1, the Blades struggled to mount any form of offense, scoring just 1 goal and managing just 32 shots on goal in both games combined. Despite being down to their Highway 11 rivals, the Blades say they've addressed some issues and feel like home ice might help.
We haven't been at our best through the first 2 games. I think that they've played really well, but I don't think that we've been to the level that we're capable of quite yet. So, you know, and there's multiple factors that goes into why that might be, and again, we've used the last couple of days to address those factors, and we're hoping to have a better effort here at home tomorrow.
It's just simplifying, getting back to what we do best. Obviously, Game 1 wasn't us. I thought we did some good things in Game 2. First half especially, I thought we played well. Yeah, I think getting back at home with our fans, our support will be huge for us going into the rest of the series.
Kicks it in towards the middle for Wyring. Nice move off the back.
3 goes tonight, 7 o'clock face-off, Game 4 tomorrow. They are the 2 best words in sports. Game 7 in the SJHL will have 2 of them. Josh Sale scored 3 goals in a 5-1 win for the Weyburn Red Wings over the Flin Flon Bombers. That sets up Game 7 in Flin Flon Wednesday. Sale has 17 points in 12 playoff games. And the Yorkton Terriers exploded for 3 goals in the 3rd period to beat the Battlefords North Stars 6-3. Game 7 on Wednesday in Yorkton. Get those tickets. Support junior hockey. Let's get over to the Weather Center and talk about that snow.
Yeah, well, it's on the way later on in the week. We are seeing it falling up north this morning. However, through central and southern Saskatchewan, we're more so talking about the rain that's going to be impacting those parts of the province into the evening hours. This morning, we're talking about some fog in some parts of the south. You can see that outside in Regina this morning. Temperatures not so bad, although we haven't really been seeing them fluctuating too much this morning. We're still at 2 degrees in Regina. Winds have gone down slightly, 19 kilometers per hour right now. Winds have been very calm through Saskatoon this morning, 6 kilometers per hour right now. Temperature has gone up to 1 degree. Again, just a mix of sun and cloud to start the day. We already talked about that snow that's been falling so far this morning up north. You see that one little spot of rain there right around Saskatoon. Into the afternoon hours, though, we do see some more rain moving in from Alberta. It's not going to be a whole lot for the afternoon, but we do see this system growing into the evening hours. So this is at about 9 p.m. what you're looking at on your screen. Areas around Prince Albert, Saskatoon, potentially even down through Regina as well, going to be seeing some of that rain this evening. By Wednesday, about 3 a.m., we do see a larger system that is going to be bringing some snow to areas around Prince Albert. Saskatoon also could still be seeing some of that rain. Then we're looking forward to the afternoon on Wednesday. Still talking about some spots in the province seeing some of that rain, even some freezing rain potentially north of the Parkland region. And then Thursday, this is the largest system. It's going to be bringing quite a bit of snow with it to areas down south. So Swift Current, Regina, Yorkton, and Estevan. Be ready for that rain to be starting overnight, potentially even freezing rain, and then turning to snow throughout Thursday morning and afternoon. Today's forecast down south is above the average, though. 17 degrees for Swift Current, 18 degrees for Moose Jaw, 18 degrees for Weyburn, and 17 degrees this afternoon expected for Regina and Estevan. 12 degrees, though, for Saskatoon, and then cooler through Yorkton, 8 degrees, 7 degrees in Prince Albert, and 11 degrees for the Battlefords. The 7-day forecast, once we get past the precipitation on Thursday and Friday, it does seem to start warming up again, so the snow isn't going to be sticking around. 2 degrees by Saturday, up to 11 on Sunday, and up to 17 degrees for Regina on Monday. In Saskatoon, again, we're seeing that temperature drop on Thursday and Friday. Don't worry, it's not going to last too long. By Monday, we're back up to 12 degrees. Time now for a look at your rural forecast. We are seeing some cloud cover through areas around Lloydminster, Kindersley, Spiritwood, and Meadow Lake this afternoon. Some rain expected later on for Melfort and Watrous. Temperatures, though, not so bad. 12 degrees for Watrous, 16 degrees this afternoon in Outlook with the mix of sun and cloud, and 9 degrees in Hudson Bay and Wynyard with that cloud cover. Down south, we're expecting some of that fog in some areas. Coronach, 18 degrees, 17 degrees in Rockland, and more of those winds down through the southwest corner of the province, including East End, where we'll be seeing that high of 15 degrees today. 15 degrees also expected in the southeast for Broadview and Carlisle with that mix of sun and cloud. Let's take a look at Yellowgrass, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. 18 degrees this afternoon, mainly sunny. Winds, though, could be gusting up to 40 kilometers per hour.
Well, it has been a long winter, but the elements are part of our story. Let's see if we can find Mike Siona, who is exploring a new exhibit at the Ramey Modern. Mike.
Well, it can get pretty cold in Saskatchewan, and so we are here at the Ramey Modern to look at the forecast exhibit. And indeed, this is not me, although it has been me on occasion covering the weather as I did for over a decade, and now our on-location reporting with Your Morning Saskatchewan. We're joined by Stephanie McKay, who's here to tell us about essentially the winter room.
Yeah, so this room features a lot of different artist interpretations of the cold season, which hopefully we are almost ready to say goodbye to for the year. But you've got traditional works by artists like, Dorothy Knowles, Alan Sapp, and things that you might really associate with Saskatchewan, and then some contemporary works. So this amazing costume created by Meryl McMaster in the photo to go along with it, a really sassy and funny work by Laurie Blondeau, of this woman in a fur bikini with her surfboard. What I love about Ramey Modern is just that we have the opportunity to showcase a really wide range of art that speaks to similar themes.
Yeah, no doubt. And I really like this kind of dichotomy, because especially right now when you talk about Saskatchewan and winter time, I mean, the cheekiness of the surfboard that feels Saskatchewan. I'm pretty sure that, like, if that house was blue, that would be my Aunt Nat's house growing up. So it speaks to really the impact that environment has on art and on life here.
Absolutely, and I think we can all connect to some of these works in different ways based on our own personal experiences here, and so I think to come into this room and to have a connection to Saskatchewan is to feel a bit of a sense of comfort and familiarity.
Fantastic. I absolutely love it. The exhibit is on for the rest of the year, so you've got until, ironically, next winter. We don't want to talk about next winter, though. We're going to talk about this exhibit. Maybe we'll find something warmer, more spring, summer-like as we check back in with you one more time this morning.
All right, so I don't know if you saw this, but baseball legend Ichiro Suzuki got a statue. He had a great career outside of his Seattle baseball stadium, and it kind of didn't go as they'd hoped. The statue was revealed, so here comes the tarp, and there's the bat, and then the bat is bent, and eventually it did fall off.
Oh, no!
It did fall off at one, yeah. So they're working to rectify the situation, but... Breaking, we've updated the replica. So they made all these. So they made all these bobbleheads, and they're like, you know what? This is a savvy move. Let's just break all the bats to match this trophy.
I want to hear from him. What does he think about it?
Man.
Oh, but statue's still there. They'll get it all fixed up.
All right.
Question of the day. On this National Gardening Day,
yeah, we're asking
what are we planting?
what are you planting this year? Just a couple answers coming in so far. We'd love to see some more, though. Let's start off with Howard JC saying, not too sure, just going to wing it.
Great plan.
That's my kind of gardening.
The no plan.
Yeah, Lisa and Weyburn saying we just bought a home, so once I get everything dug out that was previously planted, I will be planting the regular potatoes, carrots, peas, tomatoes, cucumbers, yellow beans, onions, and maybe corn. I always share our garden with elderly dad, so whatever else he may want planted too. That's beautiful.
Weyburn, they don't have those Regina City lots.
Yeah, right.
Dean saying, already have the cucumbers, tomatoes, and sunflowers started. Potatoes are next. Kevin R., I wanted to throw up some photos here, but he says he's very heartbroken this year. He had some surgeries. He couldn't actually get out and plant this year, but take a look at a previous year's garden. How beautiful is that?
Wow.
Look at that.
So you can be proud, Kevin, of previous year's work.
For sure.
That is a goal. That's what all of us are aspiring to, right?
Why, if that's what you're into, absolutely.
I'm not great at gardening. I'm trying to learn. I'm in some Saskatchewan gardening Facebook groups, so you'll see my name in there, and give me those tips.
You're in a lot of Facebook groups.
I'm in a lot of Facebook groups.
So many Facebook
So many. You'll see my name in so many of them. Message me your advice, honestly. What are you planting this year? Text us at 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan that QR code on your screen. We're going to share some more answers in about an hour.
Oil is falling on the possibility the U.S. and Iran could extend their two-week ceasefire as the U.S. continues its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Now dropping today as well, along with oil, the U.S. dollar. Gold gaining. As for equities, the TSX, Dow, and New York Stock Exchange are all up for the year now. And the NASDAQ 100 is looking to set its longest streak of gains since 2021, as optimism that the U.S. and Iran are considering that round of peace talks, another round, and that has lifted the futures for the benchmark, pointing to a 10th straight day of wins, and S&P 500 contracts were 0.2% higher. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby has floated a possible merger with American Airlines, according to people familiar with the conversations, an audacious proposition that would face intense scrutiny even under the business-friendly Trump administration. Kirby has pitched the idea to senior government officials, though it's unclear if any overtures have since been made or if an actual process is underway to explore a deal. A combination would create the largest airline on the planet, pose serious antitrust concerns, and likely face significant backlash from consumers, politicians, and rival U.S. airlines. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
time for your morning mystery. Good news, Kaylin approves of my look today, so we're all very happy.
I judge the ties every day.
As long as that nice lady from whatever community doesn't call it and tell me how to tie my tie, we'll be good. 3 clues. I like those emails. I post them on my social medias. These social and intelligent mammals prefer the shallow seas to continental divide. I know what this is already. Remember the national days this morning?
Yes, I remember the national days. I know.
There are almost 40 species which range in size from 4 feet up to 30 feet, and they communicate using a variety of sounds, including clicks and whistles. Every morning we go through the National Day calendar to get our question of the day.
Yeah.
And that's going to pay off for us today.
Yeah.
Maybe not Jeremy. I don't know if Jeremy's looked at it.
Morning ritual.
But you still, see, he's a pro, seasoned pro. It is dolphins.
Okay,
it is National Dolphin Day.
Might be left
Celebrating
out.
dolphins, their habitats, and how they live. They live in pods of around a dozen animals, establishing strong bonds within these pods. They leap above the water surface for a number of reasons, including social displays, fighting, nonverbal communication, and just for fun.
Cool. Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, 2 degrees. We are seeing some fog right now to start the day, though. 1 degree through Saskatoon. A pretty nice morning there with low winds. By lunchtime in Regina, 12 degrees, 11 degrees through Saskatoon for your lunchtime. And by final bell, both cities at those expected daytime highs. For Regina, that's 17 degrees with some sunshine. And for Saskatoon, a few more clouds there, 12 degrees with lower wind speeds. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. The common price in Regina is $169.9. You might find it for as low as $154.9. In Saskatoon, the common price $171.9, and you might find it for as low as $166.9. In the farm markets today, the street price of canola is at $649.33 per ton. The futures price $705.30 per ton. Amber Durum wheat now at $278.59 per ton, and red spring wheat $273.09 per ton. The Canadian dollar is up. It's at 72.40 cents U.S. After the break, SaskPower is reminding farmers to be careful around power lines. Stay with us for the details.
Taseani, good morning. Welcome to your morning. Let's get to news. We begin with 9 more Saskatchewan communities eligible to be part of the Rural and Remote Recruitment Incentive Program. This allows communities to offer incentives to high-priority health workers of up to $50,000 for 3 years of service. The communities are Beauval, Buffalo Narrows, Carlisle, Creighton, Craik, Davidson, Ituna, Momart, and Macklin. There are now 82 communities that can use that program.
And really, as we add more communities, as we add more facilities to this incentive, it's really creating, I think, more incentive for kids who are from these communities or interested in a life in rural or northern Saskatchewan to take an opportunity, a really good healthcare career, but then also have a financial incentive to make that move, make that decision easier for them.
Well, since its implementation, the incentives have helped fill more than 530 hard-to-recruit positions in rural and remote areas, according to the province. Following the closure of Saskatoon's safe consumption site, those in and around the community are sharing their thoughts. Hallie Mandrick reports.
A rally on the weekend highlighted concerns following the closure of Prairie Harm Reduction.
We must not give up.
But some business owners say the safe consumption site's closure offers an opportunity for the community to move forward with a more balanced approach to addictions issues.
Safe consumption is just a part of harm reduction. And our position has always been that harm reduction must include protection for vulnerable individuals and protection for the community. So public health and public safety must be balanced.
PHR closed its doors last week after the organization shared that it was suffering from significant financial issues. Its exemption was then suspended, executive director fired, and operations of all services ceased.
This wasn't just a loss of service. It was a loss of relationship, trust, and the continuity of care that cannot easily be replaced.
In addition to its role as a safe consumption site, PHR provided 2 youth homes, educational services, and family supports. The executive director of the Riversdale Business Improvement District says, while many of these services are important, one community does not have the bandwidth to provide all of them.
I can say with every bit of confidence that there's no NIMBYism in Riversdale because we have more than any other neighborhood in the
the city, and in some cases combined. So when we're looking at distribution of social agencies where people already live, Riversdale's full, and we're looking to bring a balance back to the area.
According to the province, other outreach groups within Saskatoon are expected to absorb the increased demand in services caused by PHR's closure.
Well, I think what we see going on in Saskatoon will probably be a transition of services to other community-based organizations, so those individuals will just be getting their services elsewhere.
Shabailo says there's a need for these services, but they should be more evenly distributed across the city, and other neighborhoods outside of Riversdale should have more services for vulnerable people.
But there are no services readily available where those folks already live. So we're looking to say, can we not do this better to focus on the clients and their needs as opposed to the agencies and the resources they have?
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The U.S. president is facing backlash for an image he posted and then deleted from social media. Donald Trump put out this AI-generated image on Truth Social depicting himself as Jesus in a white and red robe. This post has since been taken down, sparking outrage across the political spectrum. Trump acknowledged posting it yesterday.
I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there.
The post comes at a time when the U.S. president has been locking horns in an escalating war of words with the first American pope, saying he was too liberal and weak on crime.
Pope Leo said things that are wrong. He was very much against what I'm doing with regard to Iran.
Don't want to get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be abused in the way that some people are doing. And I will continue to speak out loudly.
The pontiff, who has been a vocal critic of the war in Iran, says he does not fear the Trump administration and will continue to speak about the gospel. A team of volunteers is in the Peguis First Nation in Manitoba helping prepare for a nasty flood season.
We're all come together as a community, as we are, and we're helping save the people that do flood bad.
They're using water to fight water, filling up temporary dams to protect homes from potential flooding. It's a huge job with 225 homes identified for needing protection. About 30 volunteers from Team Rubicon are on hand to help out, with another 17 on the way. Sask Power reminding farmers to be careful around power lines when moving equipment this growing season. They had a big spike last year, they say. The Crown Corporation reported 315 farm-related incidents involving Sask Power infrastructure, 262 last year. Now, Sask Power says all the line strikes are preventable, and they're encouraging farmers to use extra caution around lines and power poles. Common causes, they say, include fatigue, underestimating the size of equipment, or digging too close to lines. As of this morning, reservations at provincial campsites are going to be open. Actually, 34 minutes ago, the first overnight spots were open. Seasonal opened yesterday. Every day the rest of the week, nightly spots open. More information on our website. You can stream our conversation with Sask Parks. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame revealed its 2026 class of inductees during Monday night's episode of American Idol. Grammy-winning pop icon Phil Collins, known for his solo hits like In the Air Tonight, is heading to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on the very first ballot. He's already been inducted once before as a member of Genesis, as we know. This year's class is also bringing a bit of Manchester into the spotlight. The Brit-pop legends Oasis recently reunited and made up of brothers Noel Gallagher and Liam Gallagher among those getting the nod. The induction ceremony is set to take place in November in Los Angeles. We want to send you not to LA, but to Italy, Kayleen.
Yeah, a little bit farther. CTV Your Morning with CAA Travel and Colette Tours want to send you and a guest on a 12-day Italy's Treasures trip of a lifetime. Experience incredible history, culture, and cuisine across northern Italy, October 18th through 29th. Enter online now at ctvsaskatoon.ca or ctvregina.ca and include today's keyword, Florence, for your chance to win. Good luck. Let's turn our attention back here to the Queen City, where we're seeing quite a bit of fog to start the day. Some heavy amounts of cloud cover. We're at 2 degrees, so the temperatures aren't bad. You may be seeing just a little bit of visibility issues out there to start your day, though. 19-kilometer-per-hour winds. In Saskatoon, 1 degree right now. A little bit more of that sunshine there, and lower winds to start your day, 6 kilometers per hour. So a great morning to get outside. Later on into the afternoon, we are going to be seeing some increased wind gusts, mainly down through that southwest corner of the province around Kindersley and Swift Current could be seeing those winds just surpassing 45 kilometers per hour there. Regina could be seeing them up to about 30-35 kilometers per hour. Current temperatures now, we're seeing Stony Rapids at -17. They've been holding pretty steady with the cold spot in the province this morning. A lot better through Buffalo Narrows, La Ronge and Prince Albert, where we're at 0 degrees to start the day. Into those positives already, Hudson Bay and Spiritwood at 2 degrees, 1 degree in Melfort and Nipawin right now. Down in the south, 5 degrees in Swift Current. Not quite our hot spot. That's Maple Creek at 7 degrees this hour. 2 degrees through Moose Jaw, 2 degrees through Regina, 3 degrees through Estevan, and 1 degree through Yorkton. Later on into the afternoon, we are seeing a bit more of that sunshine now popping up on your screen, at least for the afternoon. Some rain expected through the evening hours, and you can see that rain icon through Saskatoon. Mainly that's going to be falling later on in the evening hours. 12 degrees there, though. Warmer down south, 17 degrees in Swift Current and Estevan, 18 degrees for Moose Jaw and Weyburn, 17 degrees in Regina, and cooler through Yorkton, 8 degrees with that cloud cover expected this afternoon. Let's turn our attention now to that 5-day forecast, because we do have more of that snow on the way. And I know it's not what anybody really wants to hear, but we just got to get through it. 15 degrees tomorrow, so we do see a little bit of a drop off. It's Wednesday evening, actually, though, that we really see temperatures start to take a nosedive and then into overnight. Thursday afternoon, we're really only going to be seeing that high of -2 as that snow starts falling. -4 on Friday. Again, still seeing some of that snow. 2 degrees on Saturday with a mix of sun and cloud. In Saskatoon, dropping down to 6 degrees tomorrow and then -6 by Thursday. So we're not seeing the most ideal temperatures. Of course, nobody really wants to be seeing the snow this time of year. It should be clearing up by Friday in Saskatoon, though, with that cloud cover, -1, and then up to 2 degrees by Saturday. It's early next week that we start to see temperatures go back up into the positives and into the double digits.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment for Monday. We're taking a trip to Seattle for this one. It's the Astros and Mariners. Cam Smith hits one deep to right center. Luke Rowley tracking it. How about that? Makes an adjustment. That is an incredible catch to the wall. What a grab for the Mariners right fielder. Looked like he couldn't pick it up in the air. Finds it at that very last second, and that right there, worthy of your must-see moment. Meanwhile, tonight on TSN, we've got the NBA play-in tournament. The Heat will take on the Hornets. Tip-off of that game goes 7:30 p.m. That's all for now from the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a terrific Tuesday.
Connexus Arts Center is inviting you to sip, sample, and celebrate spring at their Taste of Spring event coming up April 17th and 18th. Tickets are still available, and to tell us what you can expect, here's Colette Para. Good morning and welcome back to the studio.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about the event itself, starting with the actual beverages. Some of them are new to the market.
Absolutely. There's some new and exciting items coming up. There's one from Beam Century, which is out of Japan. They have something that they've created that's done in minus 192 degrees Celsius. Ooh. Like it's really cool. And we're looking forward to having that. We've got some mimosas in a can. Everybody usually brings new products to the market at this time of year. So it's an opportunity to go out and try it. Maybe there's a new ready-to-drink cocktail. Maybe there's a new beer, a new wine, spirit. We got a little bit of everything.
Something new for everybody to experience. I like that. Okay, yeah. Of course, people don't just go for the drinks. We go for the food, and this event is no exception. What are we looking forward to?
We have a couple of food trucks that are coming on board with us. Hillside Smoke, Eddie's Barbecue. We also have the diner at the City Hall, Capital QC, Dad's Diner. And of course, our own chefs are creating a couple of unique stations. We are unveiling again our backstage bites.
All right. Who are we marketing this event to? Who do you think should be coming and why?
I think if you want to go out and have a good night, there's lots of, we have Sobeys Liquor is sponsoring our beach party room. So it's a place to go out, hang out, have a little extra fun. if you just want to learn something new and exciting, try a few beverages without committing to buying a whole case or trying new flavors, this is the place to come.
All right, tickets are still available, right? As we mentioned, how can people get those?
Come visit us at the Connexus Arts Centre, our box office, or you can go online at connexusartscentre.ca.
Okay, this isn't a new event, right?
No, we've been around now for the last, I think this is our 5th year running now. And yeah, it's really good fun time for everybody.
All right, reaction has been good in previous years. You can join in on all the fun. Go on and grab your tickets for Taste of Spring at the Connexus Arts Centre.
The incident happened on March the 24th, 2026 in the early morning hours at a residence in a Lake Ridge neighborhood in Regina. 2 men entered a residence in the northwest corner of the city and stole a truck alongside several tools. Surveillance video captured both suspects, although their faces were covered. One of the suspects, a man, was wearing a very recognizable Raptors jacket. If you know who these 2 men are, contact Crime Stoppers.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina. Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
A battery pack can come in handy in a pinch, and this one serves an entire neighborhood. Australia has started installing community libraries. The batteries collect energy from household solar panels during the day, then will be turning into feeding the grid when it's at its highest demand. Each battery has enough power to support 45 homes. They also have fancy paint jobs to help beautify the neighborhood.
Here's what's happening in our community. Polonia in Concert is on April 18th at 1:30 p.m. It's being held at the Priestville Legion Hall. For more information, you can call 306-547-7068. Saskatchewan's Mass Transportation History is on April 18th at 7 p.m. It's being held at Moose Jaw's Western Development Museum, and tickets are $25. The Kid Expo is on April 19th at 10 a.m. It's being held at the International Trade Center, and for more information, you can call 306-550-6367. You can submit your event to our community by visiting our website at ctvregina.ca and clicking Community Calendar.
All right, let's head back to Help Homes of Regina and check in once again with Janelle Lippi.
Good morning. I've got Sherry and Darren back with me. We're going to talk all things programs, and we're even lucky enough to chat with a few participants coming up here. But before we get into that, Sherry, tell me a little bit about programs that you guys have here.
So within Help Homes of Regina, we really foster the individuals, providing a good home environment for them, and making sure that all of their care needs are met. However, though, it goes a little bit more beyond that, because as well as quality of life activities are very important. It helps them belong to the community. It allows them to develop relationships, experience new adventures in the city. So some of the activities they participate in are going to movies, visiting restaurants, going to local theaters and art shows, and yeah, just a whole bunch of different things.
All right, well, tons of fun is to be had. Now we get to go chat with some of these participants. Good morning, everybody. So this is Terry. Terry, can you tell me maybe one of your favorite things that you've been able to do here so far?
Color.
Color?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. I like to color too, Terry. That's great. And you have a lot of fun with it?
Yeah, sure. I have a lot of fun with it.
All right, well, that does sound like a ton of fun. We'll move over here to Jeff. Jeff, what is one of your favorite activities?
I don't know.
Too many to choose from.
Go on hockey.
Yeah.
You go past hockey.
Ooh, that's a good one too. Pat's hockey game. See, there's lots of fun, tons of activities to have. All right, Ken, it is your turn. I will get you on this side here. What is one of your favorite activities so far?
I enjoy going to Casino Regina, listening to music.
Tons of great performances. Well, thank you all so much. Once again, this is Help Homes of Regina. Tons of great activities for everybody to enjoy.
Great, Janelle, thank you very much. We will check back in with you out there a little later on.
It's April 14th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Melba. She's marking her 80th birthday today. We hope it's a great one with love from your sons, daughters, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. And also celebrating today is Amy. Happy birthday to you with lots of love from your mom and dad and all of the family. Enjoy your special day.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
What's going on in the big radio station today?
We got Country Minute on the way, and Riley Green giving us his acting debut this weekend on Marshalls. So we got a look at the trailer there. His acting looks something to be desired. Maybe it's better on the actual show than the trailer itself. But we do know he's giving us a brand new song to go along with it, too, that will be released on Friday. So we'll give you a little sneak peek of that coming up after 8 o'clock. Call up another $500 winner for our daily prize with the $50K payday. And that next keyword to win the $50,000 coming up at 8 this morning.
Chase, thanks very much. And I'm excited for Glow Pitch. That burger's flying off the shelves over at Paddy Wagon, I'm sure.
Get the whiskey business. You will not regret it.
I want to be the artist that I would want to be a fan of. I can't wait to see this. You want to have some fun?
Here's a look at the new trailer for Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, the tour live in 3D. Eilish and James Cameron co-directed the film, which takes you into the arena and backstage with the 10-time Grammy winner. It's in theaters May 8th.
The arena, it's a killing machine. But all machines can be broken. Go out there and make them remember you.
The latest trailer for The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping, set 24 years before the original movie, includes Joseph Zada as Hamish Abernathy, Elle Fanning as Effie Trinket, Kieran Culkin as Caesar Flickerman, and Ralph Fiennes as President Snow. The second quarter quell begins in theaters November 20th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
JD, nobody likes robots more than you, so take it away.
All right, how about this toddler who likes to play robot?
Are you a robot man?
Solid robot.
Pretty young for such an accurate impression. The Play-Doh cups on his hands really make it, right? Tie the whole look together. Very good.
Working on the smooth transitions.
It's really cute. I like that one.
Sometimes you need to slow down a little bit and just take in the beauty of your surroundings. Perhaps it's nightmare fuel. Just, I guess, depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
This is a promotional video for Red Bull, probably slowed down. So
That's amazing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man.
My dad texted me, he's watching from Brooks, Alberta. He said, with some left practice, maybe one day that guy will be good as me. I don't know that my dad from Dunblane,
Wow.
Saskatchewan has ever been on a surfboard. Maybe I'm learning something new today.
Yeah, any oceans there we don't know about?
Oceanfront property in Brooks, Alberta, just for sale, just for you.
All right. Have you ever dreamed about falling into the clouds? Well, this daredevil made it a reality.
Does the bike stay attached? Is it just dangling by a cord?
And also the angle of this.
He's got legs.
Ooh.
Just keeping his feet on it? Is that how it's staying attached? Oh, no, it looks like it dropped. Oh, he
Yeah.
dropped it. It's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a perfectly good bike. What a
Crazy.
shame.
I don't know how
It's
people
true.
do these things. They are braver than I.
This is wasteful bike violence, and I will not stand for it. We're back after this. Welcome to Tuesday, April 14th.
I just want to thank the citizens of Terrebonne for the confidence they have put in me.
This is not a mandate to be quiet.
Tonight, we celebrate a new beginning.
Liberals go from minority to majority with a clean sweep in 3 by-elections.
We need to know what's going to work on the ground and not that's going to happen in 10 years' time. We need assistance right now.
3 infrastructure projects in Saskatchewan getting a massive funding boost.
We haven't been at our best through the first 2 games. I think that they've played really well.
Game 3 tonight as the Blades look to climb out of a hole against the Prince Albert Raiders. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Tuesday.
Remember to send those birthdays in to us, anniversary shout-outs, even your great photos. I know a lot of people have great photos that they're sending to the wrong email address, so it's yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca. Any other address? It's on you, bro.
I don't get them. Yeah. And then it's disappointing, too, because I get emails saying, my birthday didn't run, and I say, I'm sorry, you have to send it to the new email address.
Where'd you send it? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. 8 o'clock. Let's get to news. We begin with the Prime Minister, Mark Carney. He now has a Liberal majority government, now with 174 seats in the House of Commons after winning all 3 by-elections last night. Here's CTV's senior political correspondent, Mike LeCouture.
The first results came in the riding of University Rosedale. Danielle Martin's victory giving the Liberals 1 more seat and securing Mark Carney's majority government.
As of tonight, Mark Carney and our entire incredible Liberal team have earned an even more powerful mandate to continue building a better Canada.
A little further east, the Liberals chalked up another win as the former deputy leader of the Ontario NDP delivered the riding of Scarborough Southwest.
My friends, we found a way to come together. Not because we agreed on everything, but because we recognize the common vision of Canada that we all share.
Now, the Liberals were able to turn last year's minority government into a majority, thanks in part to 5 floor crossers in as many months. The latest was an opposition MP who held social conservative values.
I think the Liberal tent is stretched so far now that the fabric must be, I don't know, is it spandex? It is something very stretchy when you can encompass Marilyn Gladu in a caucus with progressives in the Liberal Party.
The third by-election was forced in Terrebonne, Quebec, after the Supreme Court invalidated a Liberal win, which was by 1 vote.
And people really knew the importance of voting this time, so they were enthusiastic, and we were confident that they would indeed go out and vote.
The ballot question was, who can provide stability in a world of instability and a much more chaotic and divided world? And we know that the answer to that is Prime Minister Carney.
Now that he has his majority, the Prime Minister isn't wasting any time. Tuesday, Carney's expected to announce new affordability measures as his government has been facing pressure to address high gas prices. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
3 of Saskatchewan's biggest centres getting a massive funding boost from the critical infrastructure project funding in partnership with federal and provincial governments. Donovan Mace takes us through it all.
This is key for growth and expansion for us.
Regina, Saskatoon, and Moose Jaw are getting a jump start in growing their cities.
It helps. It's going to be enough when we get to where we don't have an infrastructure deficit.
The provincial, federal, and municipal governments for Saskatchewan's 3 largest cities are providing nearly $26 million towards building and improving water, wastewater, stormwater, and solid waste infrastructure. Funding is provided through the Canadian Housing Infrastructure Fund, and the grants are expected to support the construction of more than 29,000 homes.
Good water and sewer services allows you to build homes. There's also dollars available for facilities.
The funding will help Regina's plans to build 500 new housing units at the Old Taylor Field site, a long-awaited redevelopment.
To see that finally come to fruition and see that we're actually going to see houses be built in that space is extremely exciting.
Saskatoon's portion will support the expansion of the Material Recovery Centre and extend the life of its landfill.
In 2011, the City of Saskatoon had a report back that said we had 10 to 15 years left in our landfill. That's today.
And in Moose Jaw, funding for the Spring Creek Wastewater Management Project will protect homes from future flooding.
I'm excited for the opportunity that there will be growth that can happen immediately for the city with, new housing and buildings.
Now, the federal government will invest more than $187 million into housing-enabling infrastructure projects across the province, with the government of Saskatchewan adding an additional $156 million. More projects in other cities will be announced later once they receive approval. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Jeremy Dodge, over to you with some news from Saskatoon.
Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, it was a difficult day in Saskatoon Court of King's Bench. The family of a Saskatoon woman who was killed almost 6 years ago spoke about their loss and the toll it has taken on their lives. And it came as lawyers for a man convicted of manslaughter argued about how much time he should spend in prison. Stacey Hine reports.
There's finally a little bit of an ending, I think.
Megan Gallagher's family has now delivered their final victim impact statements after 7 people were convicted in her death.
Writing those victim impact statements is a challenge that I don't even have words to explain.
Roderick Sutherland, the last person convicted in the case, was found guilty last October of manslaughter and offering indignity to human remains. Court heard Gallagher was killed in September of 2020 inside Sutherland's garage. She was restrained to a chair and died after plastic wrap was placed over her face. Her remains were found 2 years later south of Prince Albert, near the village of St. Louis. At Sutherland's sentencing hearing, Gallagher's sister spoke about the pain of people staying silent while the family searched for answers, and told Sutherland, quote, "You took my baby sister, my best friend." Gallagher's father described the emotional and financial toll of years of court proceedings. Many of the 12 victim impact statements also described Gallagher as strong, loving, and confident, while also highlighting the issue of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls.
She's 2-3 times more vulnerable. All of us as Indigenous women, we wonder often, is it going to be my sister? Is it going to be my granddaughter? And so I think that message was made clear today.
The Crown is seeking 8 to 10 years for manslaughter, plus 2 to 3 years for offering indignity to human remains, arguing Sutherland allowed his garage to be used and was involved from start to finish. The defense is asking for 3.5 years for manslaughter and 1.5 years for the second charge, saying Sutherland didn't know what others were planning and is a low-risk offender. At the end of the hearing, Sutherland stood up and addressed Gallagher's family, saying sorry for your loss and apologizing for not doing more to stop the situation and for not calling police. The decision on his sentence has been reserved until next Wednesday. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
All right, Daryl, the latest from you now on the discovery of a body in Regina.
Yeah, they're now calling it a homicide, Jeremy. We told you about this yesterday. It happened in the 3100 block of 5th Avenue early Monday morning. Officers found the man's body. They secured the area and requested help from the Major Crimes Unit, who are now taking over that investigation. They determined the death was a homicide, and the victim has been identified as 36-year-old Miles Anderson. So that investigation continues. Even before yesterday's murder, some people have been raising concerns over an increase of violence in that area of north central Regina. Sierra D'Souza Butts reports.
Community advocates are calling for more supports to help some of the city's most vulnerable following a homicide in north central Regina.
We're definitely seeing an increase in violence and just people in really desperate situations, just trying to survive.
People at North Central Family Center, an organization that offers housing outreach programs and services for youth and families, say they have seen a lot of hidden homelessness and people living on the street near Fifth Avenue Convenience.
I would say that sort of became a hub because there were support services being offered 24 hours out of one of the buildings in that location.
Through the Government of Saskatchewan's 2025-26 budget to support community-led homelessness, the City of Regina received $1.1 million of provincial funding to support warming shelters across the city for the winter months, including All Nations Hope Network's Owasu just down the street.
They did a really good job of sort of de-escalating a lot of the issues that would come up and supporting people in the evenings when all the other services on 5th shut down.
Advocates say additional 24/7 supports should be available year-round, not only in the colder winter months.
The fact that service is no longer being provided at night is probably adding to the increase of safety issues.
In a statement to CTV News, Saskatchewan's Ministry of Social Services said it plans to continue working with the city on community-led responses for the coming year, adding emergency shelter spaces are available year-round as the province provides funding for street outreach services which serve as a first point of contact for unhoused individuals.
We have some services, but definitely not enough. We have a strong need as a nonprofit sector and a community altogether to really band together.
The City of Regina said the funding was intended for the winter, but couldn't confirm exactly on what dates it finished. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
WHL playoffs. The scene shifts to Saskatoon tonight for Game 3 between the Blades and the Prince Albert Raiders. Raiders dominated the first two games. They have a 2-0 series lead. After a thrilling Game 7 overtime win on the road in round 1, the Blades have struggled to mount any form of offense. They scored just 1 goal and managed just 32 shots through 2 games. Despite being down to their Highway 11 rivals, the Blades say they've addressed some issues and feel like home ice will help. 7 o'clock is the face-off, SaskTel Center tonight. You can also stream that on Victory Plus. Let's get over to the Weather Center. Kayleen Sawatsky, nice today, snow Thursday.
Yeah, we're talking about some snow on the way for later on in the week. This morning, though, we're talking about some of that fog that we're waking up to in Regina. Quite the cloudy start to the day. Much more clear through Saskatoon this morning. Also seeing some lower wind speeds. A few clouds, though, and both cities waking up to that temperature of 3 degrees. That just bumped up in the last 2 minutes or so here. So the day is shaping up pretty nicely here. Wind forecast for your afternoon, though, we are seeing those increasing, particularly in the southwest corner of the province. If you're watching right now from Kindersley or Swift Current and areas surrounding there, that's where we're going to be seeing the gustier winds this afternoon. It shouldn't be so bad around Saskatoon and Regina, though. Just going to be seeing them around 30 kilometers per hour for some parts of the afternoon. Current temperatures now, Stony Rapids has held its spot as the cold spot in the province this morning at -16 right now. Other areas in the north have already bumped up into those positive temperatures. 2 degrees in Buffalo Narrows, 1 degree in La Ronge, 1 degree in Nipawin, 2 degrees in Prince Albert, and 3 degrees in Spiritwood and Hudson Bay. Down in the south, Swift Current just bumped up to 7 degrees. Not even our hot spot this morning. It is still Maple Creek at 8 degrees right now to start the day. 4 degrees through Moose Jaw, 3 degrees in Estevan, and 1 degree in Yorkton. Later on this afternoon, seeing some nice temperatures above that seasonal average down south. 18 degrees for Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Weyburn, 17 degrees for Estevan, a mix of sun and cloud in all those places. However, I do want to warn you that into the evening hours, after you enjoy this bright and sunny afternoon, we are going to be seeing some precipitation, meaning some rain. Saskatoon, you do see that rain icon there with that afternoon high of 12 degrees. Again, that's more likely to be falling later on into your evening hours. So it might not be the evening to barbecue. 8 degrees for Yorkton with a mix of sun and cloud this afternoon. 7-day forecast showing that temperatures will slowly start dropping for the coming days. Wednesday, 15 degrees in the afternoon. But then in the evening hours, we do start to see those temperatures take a nosedive down to -2 for the afternoon on Thursday. And that snow is going to be starting overnight, continuing on through the morning, afternoon, likely through the evening as well. Friday in Regina also seeing a few flakes, -4 up to 2 degrees by Saturday, 11 degrees by Sunday, and 17 degrees by Monday. So all that snow is not going to be sticking around. In Saskatoon, 6 degrees on Wednesday, dropping down to -6 on Thursday. Also expecting to see a few flakes, just not as much as those areas down south. -1 on Friday with that cloud cover, and then getting up to 12 degrees by Monday.
April 14th, 1980, Jeannie Sauvé became the first woman in Canada chosen to be Speaker of the House of Commons. April 14th, 1912, the RMS Titanic hit an iceberg and sank off the coast of Newfoundland. April 14th, 2018, Beyoncé became the first black woman to headline the Coachella Music Festival.
Well, in case you missed it, spring has arrived, despite what someone's forecast might say, because the Pelicans are back in Saskatoon. Mee Wasson says the first American white pelican touched down in the splash zone between the CPR Bridge and the Saskatoon Weir, 5:30 Friday afternoon. Of course, Mee Wasson has been tracking the birds in the Mee Wasson Valley for 30 years, and there's that annual contest for people to guess when the pelicans will return to the South Saskatchewan River. So we're there. Nature doesn't lie. Despite whatever the weather's going to do, spring is here.
I was way off. I said the 8th.
I said the last day in March, so I was also way off. But I'm sensing some hostility here, Jeremy. Can we work things out?
No, that's not me. And then I know it's not you either. But the Pelicans disagree is all.
The Pelicans.
Yeah.
It's all about the Pelicans. And we want to plant things in our gardens. It's National Garden Day.
Yeah, so we're asking you for question of the day. What are you planting this year? Lori's saying, I'll be planting a few flowers. Ronald, I'm coming to your house.
Oh,
He's saying the money tree.
Need to harvest some of that.
Tell me, give me those seeds at least.
Have you seen the price of gas?
Woo. Yeah, we could all use some of that. Long answer here. I've started my patio cucumbers and tomatoes. I will be planting a full garden of beets, sweet corn, potatoes, beans, onions, garlic, cabbage, and sunflowers. I've planted my asters, African daisies, 3 types of cosmos, 3 types of zinnias, many more to start. Can you believe that?
Boy, oh boy, they're going to be busy.
Ambitious.
Yeah,
Good
Shannon in Saskatoon.
That sounds good by Sarah. That sounds like something my wife would do.
Shannon in Saskatoon saying this year I'm planting seeds I already have. They've been piling up. Lots of flowers and veggies. Sounds like there's some soups on tap there over at Shannon's house. Pat saying went to plant all the herbs of that. Yeah, I can manage to keep a basil plant alive on my counter for the summer.
17 herbs and 1 spice.
Yeah. Another answer saying we'll be planting potatoes, carrots, peas, green and yellow beans, tomatoes, lettuce, sunflowers, peppers, cantaloupe, watermelon. First time for these last 2. That's Judy and friend Tom in Prince Albert.
There we go.
Yeah, some great answers this morning.
Cool.
Thanks for participating. We got more right after this.
Iconic imagery and a sense of Saskatchewan in all seasons. That's what the new Forecast exhibit at the Ramey Modern Art Gallery brings. And this morning, our Mike Siona is checking it out. Mike, what have you found out now?
Waskasu as only Parahudaf could depict it. A really, really cool piece here. Part of the Forecast exhibit, the Ramey Modern. We're here with Stephanie McKay as we have been all morning long. We promised you earlier that we would find something summery, and I dare say a Parahudaf at the beach doesn't get more summery.
I mean, it's kind of perfect, and it's actually a really interesting work because I think such a familiar artist to people in Saskatoon, but doing something a little bit different. And so there's works in our collection that might surprise folks about some of the artists that we know the best.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's really cool. This exhibit really kind of speaks to all corners of Saskatchewan, and we saw the winter corner, I'll call it, although some might argue that's more like a half of the year around these parts. But really, it shows that environmental impact to the people and the art in our way of life?
Yeah, so I mean, climate is something that's it affects us all. And so this exhibition really wants us to be able to make personal connections through works that speak to places like Waskesiu that are so familiar to all of us, and then allowing us to see just how important climate and how much it affects our daily lives. So art has a great way of bringing people into that conversation.
Fantastic. Now, the good news is we've got 4 seasons left of this exhibit being here. You've got spring, summer, fall, and next winter. We won't dwell on that too long. But the exhibit is here for a while. How can people get down and enjoy it?
Well, as always, Raby Modern is admission by donation, so pay what you can, and just come down to us right by River Landing, 102 Spadina Crescent East, and visit anytime. We're open Tuesday through Sunday, and it's a great place to come regardless of the weather.
There you go. Fantastic. Yeah, you can run through all 4 seasons in the climate-controlled environment of the gallery. I mean, think about it. It's they say weather can change in what, 15 minutes, or while you're making breakfast? Not in here. RabyModern.org for all the details.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Looking forward to checking out the exhibit. Now, let's head south to Janelle Lippi and find out what she has been getting up to this morning.
Good morning. My time here is slowly coming to a close, but before we wrap things up, we're going to be talking all things accessibility. And I've got Darren and Sherry back with me. Sherry, let's start over with you. Tell me a little bit about the importance of inclusion and accessibility.
Inclusion in the community is so important. It helps our individuals, develop relationships within the community. It gives them a sense of pride of belonging to something. And then as well as, just developing the relationships in many different areas, through the activities they meet. They usually will find new fun friends. So the community support is so important.
That's right. All right, Darren, now let's turn over to you. Tell me a little bit about what each home in the city here offers for accessibility.
So first and foremost, we make sure that the space is safe. So if they need help with ramps, versus stairs, we do that. We have walkers and wheelchairs available to everyone. The agency is also able to provide vans for all of our homes. So we're able to get anywhere we need to get throughout the city, and of course paratransit is a great backup to those vans. So
well, some really great resources here then. That is fantastic to hear. Now before we do wrap things up, let's hear a little bit about where people can go for some more information.
We do have a website they could visit. It's helphomes.ca, and there's valuable information on who we are and what we do, and as well as there's a click to donate button.
All right. Well, we have had a great morning with you both here today. Thank you so much. And once again, if you're looking for a little bit more information, that link is popping up at the bottom of your screen.
A Saskatchewan community that offered its naming rights to the highest bidder has ended the campaign. I am joined now by the mayor of still named Duck Lake, Jason Anderson. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning.
So this campaign ended because there were no bids for these naming rights. So tell me about that. Are you disappointed in how it turned out?
Not disappointed at all. It's no matter what was going to happen, it was going to be fantastic publicity for us. And we did get that for sure. There's still a lot of people talking about this and a lot of people talking about us. So if that was all that we were going to end up getting out of this deal, well, that's all right too.
Were you actually expecting bids? I mean, the publicity, yeah, you hit a home run there. Were you expecting to get actual bids for the naming rights?
It's a really hard call to say whether there was actually going to be able to anybody come in to do this or not. It depends on how you want to look at it. I thought that, it would be companies that would make billions of dollars in a year that actually could afford to do this. It could be a bank, it could be a telecom, it could have been actually anybody, but they would have to have value in order to do it. they would have to get a return on their investment. So could there possibly have been somebody? Yes. Did we end up with any though? No. So whatever, it is what it is.
I know there was some genuine pushback from residents when this plan was announced. I mean, the history of Duck Lake, the Northwest Rebellion, Louis Riel back in the 1800s, some were upset that the name was being sold. How are they reacting now? Are people saying, "Ha, I told you so," or any of that?
I haven't actually heard back from a whole bunch of people lately. The chatter on Facebook, for the most part, is quieted down. I still have a lot of residents that won't even look at me anymore. But it's like I'd said right off the hop, though, when I first told council, when we first started discussing this, I'd said, there's going to be a lot of mad people about this, but I've got big shoulders. And if people can't understand that there was something else that was going to be good that's coming out of this, regardless of whether we ever actually did get a bid for it, even if it's just a publicity factor out of it, if they don't understand that, well, there's not much I can do about it. But you know what? We've got to do something. And everybody else may be happy with the change that's happened in town, but I'm not. This is not the same town that I grew up in, and it's not the same place that they live in. It's not like it used to be. I'd like to try and do something to get it back to a real home for all of us.
I know the reason you told us this last fall when you launched this, you needed this money for upgrades to roads and other infrastructure. So, I mean, is there another way to maybe hopefully pay for these things?
Increasing taxes. No, I'm not saying that we can't. I'm not saying that we can't do the naming rights for our skating rink and the naming rights for our town hall, but we're still a small community. We're not going to get that much money for it. So even if we could sign a deal for $20,000, $100,000, $200,000 over 20 years, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's still money that comes back into our coffers, which is fine, and it's a help. But to try and generate that kind of money, no way. It's going to have to come down to us. And a lot of people have talked about, well, why don't you just ask the government for more money? Well, what are they going to do? If they give us $50,000 a year, maybe they can give us an extra 10. But then it's just going to go on our taxes anyway, provincially instead. So whatever.
It's the story of many small towns, villages, and hamlets in our province. Duck Lake Mayor Jason Anderson, thank you so much for a few minutes this morning, and all the best. And let's give everybody a reason to go visit Duck Lake, right? Check it out. The history is there, and you might like what you see.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks.
Let's get to today's headlines. More Saskatchewan communities are now eligible to be part of the Rural and Remote Recruitment Program, which offers up to $50,000 to high-priority healthcare workers for 3 years of service. 82 communities now part of that. Wade Mantica reports.
It's an attractive incentive for nurses and other frontline healthcare professionals. Those willing to work in certain rural and remote parts of the province will be eligible for up to $50,000 if they stay for 3 years.
And really, you know, as we add more communities, as we add more facilities to this incentive, it's really creating, I think, more incentive for kids who are from these communities or interested in a life in rural or northern Saskatchewan to take an opportunity, a really good healthcare career.
The eligibility list is being expanded to include 9 more communities: Beauval, Buffalo Narrows, Carlisle, Creighton, Craik, Davidson, Ituna, Momart, and Macklin. Mayors welcome being added to the list, which now totals 82.
Quite happy to hear that we're now getting the program. We've had trouble, especially with our RNs, keeping our RNs in Davidson. And and we have shortages, so this is hopefully going to help.
The government's healthcare recruitment crown corporation is one of the exhibitors at this week's SUMA convention in Regina. It is offering communities a package of information on how to welcome newly arrived professionals with the hope of perhaps keeping them beyond 3 years.
Tips, some communities have like recruitment committees, and so what they do is when the practitioner is going to be arriving in their community, they really surround that practitioner. Some provide housing. A lot of them will make sure the family's connected and get to the proper schools that they need to.
530 healthcare professionals have taken advantage of the incentive program since its inception 3 years ago. The provincial government will soon learn how many are willing to stay beyond their 3-year commitment. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Hallie Mandrick now with more reaction to the closure of Saskatoon's safe consumption site.
A rally on the weekend highlighted concerns following the closure of Prairie Harm Reduction.
We must not give up.
But some business owners say the safe consumption site's closure offers an opportunity for the community to move forward with a more balanced approach to addictions issues.
Safe consumption is just a part of harm reduction. And our position has always been that harm reduction must include protection for vulnerable individuals and protection for the community. So public health and public safety must be balanced.
PHR closed its doors last week after the organization shared that it was suffering from significant financial issues. Its exemption was then suspended, executive director fired, and operations of all services ceased.
This wasn't just a loss of service. It was a loss of relationship, trust, and the continuity of care that cannot easily be replaced.
In addition to its role as a safe consumption site, PHR provided 2 youth homes, educational services, and family supports. The executive director of the Riversdale Business Improvement District says, while many of these services are important, one community does not have the bandwidth to provide all of them.
I can say with every bit of confidence that there's no NIMBYism in Riversdale because we have more than any other neighborhood in the city, and in some cases combined. So when we're looking at distribution of social agencies where people already live, Riversdale's full. And we're looking to bring a balance back to the area.
According to the province, other outreach groups within Saskatoon are expected to absorb the increased demand in services caused by PHR's closure.
Well, I think what we see going on in Saskatoon will probably be a transition of services to other community-based organizations, so those individuals will just be getting their services elsewhere.
Shabailo says there's a need for these services, but they should be more evenly distributed across the city, and other neighborhoods outside of Riversdale should have more services for vulnerable people.
But there are no services readily available where those folks already live. So we're looking to say, can we not do this better to focus on the clients and their needs as opposed to the agencies and the resources they have?
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Closing arguments are underway in a landmark charter challenge involving a terminally ill Vancouver woman. Sam O'Neill had to be transferred out of a faith-based hospital in the final hours of her life in order to get medical assistance in dying. O'Neill's parents flew in from Ontario for the end of the legal challenge that they call their daughter's legacy. Shannon Patterson has that story.
Jim and Gay O'Neill are back at BC Supreme Court in Vancouver for closing arguments in the charter challenge brought on behalf of their late daughter, Sam.
We just have a lot vested in it, and we want to be here.
In April 2023, Sam O'Neill was a patient at St. Paul's Hospital with end-stage cervical cancer who chose medical assistance in dying. The 34-year-old had to be sedated and transferred to another facility in the final hours of her life because faith-based hospitals won't allow MAID on site.
It stripped Sam of her dignity and caused unnecessary pain and suffering. The act of a non-medically necessary transfer breaks their legal duty to prevent harm.
Gay O'Neill is the lead plaintiff in a charter challenge arguing the BC Supreme Court should overturn the MAID exemption granted to publicly funded religious institutions like St. Paul's Hospital.
This week we will hear closing arguments in a case that is built on Sam's legacy.
We feel really confident that we made our case around the harms really clear. It was not just from Gay's family, but also other expert witnesses and other family members who testified in court about the harms. This is a widespread problem, and we think we've brought that home.
The challenge was brought against the provincial government, which argued in court in favor of keeping the religious exemption for MAID.
The faith-based institutions across this country hold a lot of power, And I think that, this decision is going to change healthcare across the country, and provinces are, notoriously risk adverse when it comes to change, and this will be a big change. And so I'm not surprised that they're letting the court decide.
After testifying in person on day one of the legal challenge, Gay O'Neill watched weeks of testimony remotely from her home in Ontario.
We found it very stressful. There's things that we would like to say, and you can't scream at a screen, and you can't scream in court, but we just we presented our case, and now we just have to let the Chief Justice take care of it.
Closing arguments from the plaintiffs, defense, and interveners in this charter challenge are scheduled to last all week. The landmark case will then be in the hands of a BC Supreme Court judge, who is expected to make a ruling in late summer or early fall. Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Well, University of Calgary celebrated 60 years with a world record attempt. They tried to gather the largest number of people dressed as dinosaurs. The previous record was 468, set in Florida last year. Guinness World Records officials were there to witness this. The UFC says a 682 showed up.
It's incredible just seeing the people that have come from community, whether they're young, whether they're old, whether they're our faculty members, whether they're deans. This is a pretty special day when we all come together, can have some fun, and really just celebrate 60 years together.
Beyond the dinos, the University of Calgary hosted live music, food, and of course birthday cake for everyone to enjoy. It was also a day for potential students to get a look at what the university has to offer. For comparison, the U of C is now 60. The University of Alberta is 118. We're getting a new look. It's a cool one. At the moment, the recovery crew opened the hatch on Artemis 2's Orion capsule after splashdown.
Yes. Do it. Say it. Yes! Let's go! Pin.
This was shortly after 5:07 p.m. local time in the Pacific Ocean Friday, about 6 o'clock our time. They were home safe after going deeper into space than anyone had ever gone before. Cool new look at the arrival. I'm glad they didn't curse. We could use it on television. Let's get over to Killian. They're going to outer space. The UFC is doing dinosaurs. We're giving away trips to Italy.
Yeah, we can't send you to the moon, but we can send you to Italy. CTV Your Morning with CAA Travel and Colette Tours want to send you and a guest on a 12-day Italy's Treasures trip of a lifetime. Experience incredible history, culture, and cuisine across northern Italy, October 18th through the 29th. Enter online now at ctvsaskatoon.ca or ctvregina.ca and include today's keyword Florence for your chance to win. Good luck. And just a reminder, you go to the website. I've already gotten a few text messages. That's not going to work. You're not entered. Go to the website, enter that keyword. Let's take another live look outside. We're still seeing quite the cloudy start to the day in the Queen City. Some fog impacting your drive this morning. We're at 3 degrees still. Winds coming in at 24 kilometers per hour. Winds are a lot more calm through central Saskatchewan this morning. Saskatoon, we're seeing them right now at 6 kilometers per hour and 3 degrees with that mix of sun and cloud. Into the afternoon, we'll be seeing those winds increasing in areas in the southwest corner of the province. If you're waking up with us from Swift Current or Kindersley, you could be seeing them almost approaching 50 kilometers per hour. Other than that, we're seeing them about 30 to 35 kilometers per hour in areas around Saskatoon and Regina. Futurecast starting with a current look at what we're seeing in terms of the precipitation. So we're seeing some of that snow way up north, a few pockets of sunshine this morning, but we are seeing quite a bit of that cloud cover. Into the afternoon, we're seeing more precipitation making its way in from Alberta. It's not a large system to start, but it does grow in size into the evening hours. Areas around Prince Albert, Saskatoon, and even around Regina or Yorkton could be seeing some of that rain into the evening hours. Tomorrow morning, Wednesday, we see a larger system bringing some snow to areas around Prince Albert. And then we're looking forward to Wednesday afternoon where we see some more of that rain moving in overnight and into Thursday morning. That's when we're going to start seeing that freezing rain down south and a large system bringing some of that snow to areas around Swift Current, Regina, Yorkton, and of course down through Assiniboia as well. So be prepared for that snow mainly on Thursday morning down south. Today's forecast showing very spring-like temperatures even above that average 19 degrees for Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Weyburn, 17 degrees for Estevan, with a mix of sun and clouds. So the afternoon is going to be really nice, keeping in mind, though, that in the evening hours, we do have that chance of seeing some of that rain in parts of central and southern Saskatchewan. Now, temperatures are going to start dropping for a few days tomorrow. 15 degrees in the afternoon, but down in the evening, we see them take that nosedive down. Again, a system going to start impacting overnight into Thursday morning, bringing that snow, and the afternoon not going to be too warm. -2, -4 on Friday, so even cooler with a few more flakes. 2 degrees on Saturday, 11 by Sunday, and 17 degrees by Monday, so all that snow will be melting. 6 degrees tomorrow for Saskatoon, down to -6 on Thursday, a very cold day. Less chance of Saskatoon seeing those flakes, but it is still there, so we got to let you know about it. Don't worry, though. By Monday, we'll be seeing 12 degrees. Land back, legal briefs, and lusty complications. Those are the headlines for the Globe Theatre's upcoming show, Little Red Warrior and His Lawyer. Here to tell us all about the show and why you should see it are Louisa and Shaker. Good morning and welcome to the studio.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having us.
Louisa, I'm going to come on over to you first. Tell us all about this amazing production.
Okay, Little Red Warrior and His Lawyer is a wild ride of a show. We follow the story of Little Red, who is the only remaining member of the Little Red Warrior First Nation, who discovers that his land, his ancestral land, is being developed without consent. So he goes to fight, literally, for his land, which gets him into some trouble. He ends up in jail. There he meets Larry the lawyer, played by Shaker, his court-appointed lawyer. He moves in with Larry the lawyer and his wife Desdemona, who is also a lawyer, and that's when things really start to get cooking. It's a fun show. It will leave you laughing, gasping, and talking a lot after you leave.
Sounds like a high-energy production, and also we know it's a touring show. So, yeah. Shaker, how hard is it to adapt that to different stages as you're going across the country?
Yeah, we've had to adapt it to several different stages. So technically there is a challenge there, because this time at the Globe Theatre in Regina, it's the Theatre of the Round. As an actor, it's fantastic to perform in the round. I love it. When there's audience all around you, you can't hide. You feel very vulnerable or naked, but in the best sense as an actor, you know, because when you're performing for an audience and they're just on one side of you, you can sort of hide things. But when you're in the round, people are just, you know, surrounding you. So it's quite an experience.
Yeah,
I love it.
And I think audiences will love it too, because depending on where you sit, you're going to get something slightly different.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, which is really fun.
And that's what we love about the Globe Theatre here in Regina. Yeah. Louisa, people are probably sitting at home right now wondering, how can I get tickets and when is this happening?
Absolutely. So we open on May 1st. You can get tickets at the Globe Theatre website. So that's www.globetheatrelive.com. You can also call the box office as well and book your tickets that way. Right. And we run until May 18th.
We only have about 30 seconds left. Shaker, I'm going to come to you. Mm-hmm. What do you think it is that makes this show so special?
This show is definitely an extraordinary experience for me in my career. We've done this show across the country. We're going to take it to other places around the world. Kevin Loring, who wrote this play, he wrote it 25 years ago when he was in school. And it's come along this long journey, and it's just so special to be part of this Canadian story. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for your time. We're looking forward to seeing the show. Again, that's coming to the Globe Theatre. Go and grab your tickets.
You're looking at the future of cancer treatment, and it's coming soon.
We're very excited to have this new technology, really a world's first, that we can bring right here to the Bay Area.
Specifically to the Stanford Medicine Cancer Center, which will debut the world's first proton therapy system of its kind. Powered by a small linear accelerator, the system is much smaller than current machines that fight cancer this way. Stanford says it's also more accurate.
We try to focus a high dose of radiation right on the tumor and minimize the collateral damage to all the surrounding organs.
Those beams can be better focused, partly because the patient can be more easily moved by the doctor. More focused treatment means fewer side effects, especially for younger patients.
There's much less radiation going to the surrounding normal tissue, which, as you can imagine, is especially beneficial in a kid who is growing, developing. Their body's more sensitive to these effects of radiation.
The goal is to eventually make the cancer treatment available to many more people.
If this can work here and elsewhere in the U.S., we're hopeful it can bring more access to the world.
One cutting-edge machine at a time.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
I'm going to make something of this job. You could write a book. The definitive Miranda Priestley expose.
You're invited to the Devil Wears Prada 2 premiere. Disney Plus and Hulu will be streaming the New York City premiere live on April 20th. The Devil Wears Prada 2 struts into theaters on May 1st. Disney is a parent company of 20th Century Studios, Hulu, and ABC News.
Go out there and make them remember you.
The second quarter quell is about to begin. Lionsgate has released the first official trailer of The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping. The film stars Joseph Zeta as a young Haymitch Abernathy competing in the 50th Hunger Games. The highly anticipated prequel opens in theaters on November 20th.
Every day and every night was an adventure.
We have our first look at the Ingalls family. Netflix releasing the first trailer for the new adaptation of Little House on the Prairie. The first season of the series is set to premiere on July 9th. And happy birthday to Sarah Michelle Gellar, who is 49 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Alex Stone, ABC News.
In seeing the next trilogy.
A 4-year-old from Central Illinois is going viral for something most kids his age can't even dream of doing. You may have seen him recently on social media. It's a father-son story about bonding, baseball, and a big league moment. Here's Sam Matheny.
The crack of the bat, the pop of the glove. It's a sure sign baseball season is here. While millions flock to the ballparks to watch the pros, millions more are opening their phones to watch a slugger.
That's beautiful, bud. That's Oppo.
A 4-year-old phenom named Waylon Fletcher.
Small step and turn. Yeah.
Ready? His dad, Justin, started posting their garage BP sessions so Waylon could one day look back at the fun they had together.
Got it. Get down.
The fact those videos went viral is a bonus.
Freshly 4 is crazy, isn't it? It started with one swing on a tee and then run into his bicycle or run into his tractors.
Before Waylon could stand, his dad put a ball and a bat in his hands.
In case I get it back in the face.
The 4-year-old would eventually trade his Legos for his Louisville Slugger.
When I get home, he showered, he took his bath, and he was waiting for me. He's ready to come out here and have some fun.
Not back flipping on that one.
A lot of the times I straight up ask him, like, what do you want to do? We're going to play baseball, bud, for 5 minutes. What do you want to do for these next 5 minutes before we do something else?
I was fortunate to get 20 minutes. Now, the kid's a stud. He fields ground balls. He hits dingers. And he's the fastest base runner in the Fletcher home.
I'm going to get you. Oh, bat flipping me? Really?
Yeah!
Did I get him?
No!
Oh. Waylon spared some time for a mid-game interview.
When I was a baby, I just wanted to say righty. And when I was 2, I practiced going righty and lefty.
I don't know about you, but when I was 4, I was just trying to hit the ball off the tee. Waylon's already fielding calls from MLB teams.
Who just turned 4 years old.
The Arizona Diamondbacks made a call to the bullpen, inviting the birthday boy to throw out the first pitch.
Future Diamondbacks pitcher, Waylon Fletcher.
A once-in-a-lifetime experience.
It was like a lot of people were there, and there was a park upstairs.
Justin says baseball isn't about clicks or clout. It's about time with his son and teaching him what matters.
If that's what his love continues to be, love that. And I'm confident that I can help him. If he comes to me and he's like, Dad, I like baseball, but I like this better, I'm going to find somebody that can help him more than I can. I want him to be successful with what he wants.
If he's not good at 4, how good is he going to be at 14 and 24? And,
yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
MLB's watching him close.
As long as he doesn't let up. Get lazy.
Sign those college contracts. Free school. Let's get to Sidebar. We're actually currently living that internet thing right now where it's like there's college spaces for kids. What could they be good at? Let's put a golf club in Arya's hand. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Because how can we
get free school
education more affordable right now?
Bring down the cost. The oldest gorilla in the world just turned 69, in case you were wondering. The Berlin Zoo celebrated the milestone by setting out a fruit basket for Lady Fatou. She's known as the Great Dame of the Zoo and was certified last year by Guinness as the oldest living gorilla. She was born somewhere in West Africa and arrived in Europe in 1959 in the luggage of a French sailor.
Oh.
According to the Berlin Zoo, the sailor was unable to pay his bill at a tavern and gave Fatou to the landlord as payment. From there, she ended up at the German Capital Zoo. Staff say that turning 69 is incredible, noting that in the wild western lowland gorilla, they don't live past their 40s generally.
Wow.
Even in captivity, 50 is advanced age, so 69 is incredible.
Happy birthday
Keep
to
on
this
going.
dame.
Yeah.
Fatou.
Yeah,
And she's beautiful.
Keep feeding her those fruit pass. She's earned it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one. If you can't come out to the concert, the show can just come to you. St. Mary's Hospital is providing virtual concerts to patients in its geriatric unit. Music enjoyed using VR headset. The idea came during the pandemic, and now there's researchers, producers, and musicians who have all signed on.
Hitting all the right notes.
Yeah.
As we send you into your Tuesday, have a great day.